Okay, good morning again, everybody. I'm Nora from American Bankshares. I am a home loan officer, meaning that I lend you money, and I have some good news. Everybody in this room will qualify for a loan. The question is when and how. And that's what I'm here to try to let you know in the next maybe 5 minutes, and then I can have some open questions. So here's the biggest issue, or the biggest thing that you need to do before you consider to go buy a home. You need to organize your paperwork. That is the key of this whole thing. If I could stress that out more than anything, is because most people that come to me, they're buying a home, they have a contract, they went to David, and they give me their paperwork, and I'm like, oh no, slow down a little bit, and that is the biggest issue, okay? So here's the deal. Look at your paperwork. You need to look at your 2 years income taxes, very important, and your bank statements as well. I know most of us in this room are entrepreneurs, so we have a business tax returns, so that we also need to look at that as well, okay? Here's the thing about a credit, of course. We have to look at our credit. So when you have those elements in front of you, and I'll be more than happy to email everybody a list of what you need in order to qualify for a home loan. When you have those elements in front of you, and then you could look at really what's going on and make your plan. It could be now, it could be in 2 years, or it could be in 4, depending if you had any issues with the crash that we unfortunately had. With the good news about the crash, there's also loans available for the people that have been in foreclosure, short sale, or bankruptcy in the last 2 years. But you do need a 20% down for being in that. But you could actually go get a loan right now. If you were short sale yesterday, you could get a loan today. Okay, as long as all that paperwork that I just mentioned to you is organized. So as entrepreneurs, I think I want to touch on that point the most here, because I think most of us, if you could raise your hand, do business taxes and self-employed. Is everybody mostly that, or do we have any W-2 in the room? W-2 employed, people that get W-2s? No, so we're all on that mission. Okay, so here's the thing: when you do your income taxes, and hypothetically you make $60,000 a year, but you tell Uncle Sam that you make $10,000 a year, that's where your problems lie. Okay, so and I see that all the time. So when you're doing that kind of income taxes, and you're really making one, and you're writing off a lot, you need to plan out 2 years out, so that in 2 years that you made that really $60,000, and you claim the $60,000, and you bite the bullet, and you pay the taxes on the $60,000, that you're able to qualify for that loan. So that's the biggest issue when there's entrepreneurs that do their own their business taxes, or their they're self-employed, is the way they end up doing their personal income taxes. The key thing also that you have to remember is that if you have a business, and let's go to David. Let's just use him for an example. He has David Worth, okay, and he has his business taxes, and then he also pays himself a salary, okay. But his business taxes can't be negative; they have to be positive for the last 2 years, and that's the other thing that you have to watch. So the biggest issue here is to plan ahead. You could anybody could buy a home. Okay, you could buy a second home and investment property as well. It's just strategizing and organizing and looking at it. Credits can be fixed easier nowadays. I have a great website that I recommend for people to fix their credit if there's any credit issues in the room, or we need to visit that as well. Please, if you have any questions, or if you need to reach out to me because you're in that limbo, I'm not sure what's going on, I'm more than happy to look at your paperwork. And I'm a straight shooter, I'm to the point. I'm going to tell you what it is. Hopefully, you're ready, to buy a home, and you could go to David to get the list, listed or sell it. How am I doing on time here?
You got 6 minutes.
Ooh, I got 6 minutes. Anybody have any questions at this point?
So what you're saying is, well, you're self-employed. Obviously, you write off all of your expenses. So you're bringing down your income. Is that what they're looking at, the net?
Yes, we're looking at the net. And
that's you offset it with your business taxes, or no?
Well, if in your business taxes you have profits and you pay yourself that profit, yes, you can. So that's a great question. So let's say that his income was $40,000 this year, and last year was $30,000. They're going to take the 70 and divide it by 24, and that's going to be your income for your approval. Now, if you paid yourself some profit, let's say, then we're gonna also use that too. So I don't know. Any more questions?
Do you have, any programs, that you don't have to show, like no income?
Yes, I do have a program that with 24 months bank statement, personal bank statements, not business bank statements, and you pay yourself, let's say hypothetically, you pay yourself 3,000 a month, it doesn't have to be in any specific order, but let's say it averages out for 3,000 a month in the next 24 months, okay? Then that's gonna be your income we're gonna use. And actually, that program doesn't even, you don't even need to have great credit either. On that program, you also need to have 20% down, and the rate is higher, because that's the risk factor. They're taking your bank statements for the last 24 months, personal bank statement, that is key. So, because I've seen a lot of people operate out of their business bank statements, because they put it all together, and that's a big mistake in this program. So they'll take an average of the 24 months, and that'll be your income, and the credit will determine the rate. It could be anywhere between 6.99 and 9.99. It really depends on your credit. So you could be a little bit in trouble and still have this program. Actually, I'm doing 2 of them right now, and the people are super happy, because you know, I'm not gonna say the numbers, but one of them reported poverty level income, but he makes great money, but now he's able to get a home. That's a great question. Any more?
Yeah, supposing you're a retiree, no income, and you're living in a house that you own 100%, and the house is, say, worth $250,000, and you want to downsize to a house that's 150,000, but you don't have the money to buy it. Is there anything that you do that would be a bridge loan so that you can borrow to buy the second house, move into it, and sell it first?
Yes, actually, that would go into another, when you asked me the question, I had a lot of answers for you at the beginning, but then it turned into something else. It did. So here's the deal, you would have to get a private loan for that. No questions asked. It would be a private loan, period. I mean, and that would be the bridge loan. The thing with the private loans, they're a little high cost, so you would have to accept that. Now, my first thought when you asked me that question is, if you were gonna stay in that home, and it was free and clear, I really do like reverse mortgages when it comes for FHA. And you could even cash out of that house and even go buy something else. But the point is that that's also costly too, you know, to pull out that money for reverse mortgage to go buy something else. So that is the only way that I could see, because if you don't have if you can't show income because you're retired, et cetera, it has to be a no questions asked loan. And privates are usually like that.
Okay.
The different types of loans, if you could explain those, and also what seems to be the most popular.
Well, there's FHA conventional. There is those are the most popular of the people that have that they could show their paperwork. They could show your tax returns, your pay stubs, and or your P&L or your business taxes and your personal business taxes. Those are the 2 most popular, but we're still in that market where not everybody's there yet. You know, we're still struggling because people have, had problems with the crash. So they have created products to supplement that, which is, the one day at a bankruptcy foreclosure short sale. But with that product, you need 20% down, and the rate's a little higher on that one as well. So, and 4 nationals, but we're not gonna deal with 4 nationals here in Homestead, so.
Over time, would that rate go down, let's say 2-3 years of consistent payments on the home? Would you lower that rate, or that's stuck?
Yeah, that's fixed for that particular loan. The only way it would go down if you would refinance and maybe restructure at the time, because I have a couple of my clients that they had no choice but to do these kind of loans because they just did a foreclosure or short sale 2 years ago, and they're still not within that time frame for FHA conventional, and they could document everything. So they would have to wait until they're all settled. But again, the thing is to maybe get in that loan for a jump start and then organize your paperwork and refinance later. And then your loan rate.
What if it's a divorcing couple and one of them had really bad credit, and they but historically they filed jointly. Now they're divorcing one.
And they were bankrupt?
Another one. What?
Did you say they went bankrupt?
No. They were divorcing, and one of them had really bad credit, or possibly one claimed Chapter 7 because the other party doesn't have to. They get divorced, and historically
10 minutes are up.
Ooga.
The hook.
Okay, thank you very much, and please, email, call me if you have any other questions.